With David Shapiro. David is a criminal attorney in San Diego, California, and he's agreed to answer some online questions that were posted specifically related to assault. With that said, David, let's get into the first question. This question was posted by Steven. Steven says, I'm facing multiple assault charges on multiple individuals. Do you have experience with this, and how will this affect my case?
Okay, well, first, Stephen, thanks for your question. I do have experience dealing with battery and assault cases on multiple alleged victims. Obviously, you prefer the least charges, the better. The least number of alleged victims, the better. It's just less stuff you have to deal with. But the reality is you've been charged with it, and now it's time to deal with it, and hopefully you deal with it by hiring the right attorney. The best way to deal with this, obviously, is to hire someone who knows what they're doing, who has that type of experience, and who also probably in this type of case is going to want to associate with an experienced investigator who might be able to get out there and investigate the scene, interview witnesses, if there's security cameras that are able to be found or located, those types of things, if that's in your favor. Sometimes you have clients that are like, hey, how come you're not pulling the security camera and all that stuff? I'm like, well, we don't want to see the security camera based on what you're telling me. So, there's some strategy that goes in it. You just don't want someone who's going to blindly pull all these things and ask the DA for A, B, C, D, and E if those things are better off left, unknown or uncovered. So, that's what you want to do. You want to hire someone who knows what they're doing, who has the ability to look at it and prioritize, obviously, which alleged victim and which counts are more serious, which counts deserve more attention than others. If you're in a situation where, you're alleged to have knocked one guy out cold and the other people have a scratch on their arm, well, the focus is going to be on the felony assault charges, not necessarily the simple misdemeanor assault or battery charge. Obviously, we're going to be considering those counts, but the focus, we're going to be investing most of our time on the most serious cases because that's where you have the most lasting consequences.
Okay, excellent. Next question was from Austin. Austin says, I have no previous charges, but I'm now facing an aggravated assault charge. Can my clean record help me?
Yeah, it definitely won't hurt you, Austin. It can only help. How much it'll help is a whole other issue. It depends exactly what you're charged with, what's being alleged you've done or participated in. But the fact you have no record definitely goes a long way, all else being equal with other people who might be in similar situations who do have a record. Generally speaking, unless it's something really heinous and bad injuries, you're looking at worst case probation usually on assault cases without a record. If you have a record, probation is not guaranteed. Remember, probation can still mean jail time, but it doesn't mean state prison. It all depends on the extent of the injury. Sometimes can be really bad, and that'll sort of undo the fact that you might not have a prior criminal history. So it can only help you. It's definitely not going to hurt you. To what extent depends on the the seriousness of the allegations and the conduct alleged.
Okay, next question was from Mary. Mary says, my son was charged with simple assault and is currently in San Diego County. What are my options?
Okay, Mary, my question to you, the first question would be, so when you say San Diego County, you mean physically living in the county or in San Diego County jail? If he's in jail, obviously you want to hire an attorney who practices in San Diego that could discuss with you the options of bailing him out, whether or not he's bailable, what's advisable, and walk you through that process so you and the family can make a strategic decision, especially if funds are limited, whether or not you want to use resources to bail him out or use resources to hire a quality, experienced attorney if you only have to pick one, if you only have the money to do one. As far as generally speaking, charged with any crime in San Diego, specifically assault, as per your question, the first thing to do is to interview and contact a couple of attorneys' offices to get a feel for the different types of people out there, just like any other profession, any other aspect of life. You can have good, you can have bad, you can have indifferent, you can have people that work hard, you can have people that are professional, you can have people that are unprofessional. So, interview a couple of attorneys, do your research, narrow it down to a couple, just like anything else. Contact those 2 or 3 attorneys, ask to speak to them, their staff, whoever, to get a feel for their office, what type of work they do. And, if your son's on the ground here in San Diego, maybe send him in and we could always conference in. I do conference calls sometimes with parents if their child is in my office or if the child's on the other line as well, assuming that's what their child, my client, is okay with. Obviously the deference goes to my client, but I do conference calls and all those types of things with parents, whether you live in San Diego County or whether you live across the world.
Okay, excellent. And the final question we had was from Jose. Jose asked, how long am I looking at for a felonious assault?
Well, Jose, a lot depends on the extent of the injuries, assuming there are injuries. Generally speaking, if you're charged with Penal Code Section 245 and the subdivisions that come with it, usually it's a 234 felony. What I mean by that is you'd be facing up to 4 years in state prison if convicted on felony assault by means of force likely to cause great bodily injury. That's the most common felonious assault charge filed. If there's great bodily injury alleged, meaning if it's alleged that the victim in the case, assuming there is one, suffered great bodily injury, that could tack on another 3 years to your exposure for a total of 7 years. If it's in the course of a domestic violence case, that would tack on more than 3 years. I believe it's 5 off the top of my head. And then you're looking at closer to 10 years of exposure. Realistically, how much time you get, depends on your record. It depends on the facts, and most importantly, it depends if you're even going to be convicted of anything. And that's where hiring someone who knows what they're doing, will avail you and your case of all the resources and their experience to make sure you get the best outcome possible given the facts of your case.
Excellent. Okay. Well, if you have any other additional questions for David, all you have to do is post them in the comments section below. With that said, thanks for your time, David.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely want to do your research out there because there's serious consequences. A bar fight sometimes can turn into a strike felony. They'll stay with you for the rest of your life if you don't handle things the right way. So definitely make sure you make a call to a good attorney who knows what they're doing.
Thanks, David.
You got it. My pleasure.